In the final weekend of the 2019 regular season, the Los Angeles Valiant have the impossible at their fingertips.
The way is clear for the Valiant to keep making their way through our playoffs.
After starting the season 0-7, they need just one win at the Kit Kat rivalry weekend to slip into the play-in tournament.
The Valiant, they keep the dream alive!
Their first opportunity will come against their crosstown rivals, the Gladiators, who have already secured a top 6 playoff seed.
And the Gladiators are on a riot now, and this crowd is on their feet.
Can Decay and Shore4 deny the Valiant their redemption arc?
You run out in the open and you're dead.
None of that fan the hammer nonsense from this guy.
Or will Custa and company break through the Gladiator shields?
Jax destroys the entire team.
The stakes have never been higher for the Battle of LA.
It's so much pressure.
Valiant, Gladiators, match of the week.
After a 0-7 start in this season of the Overwatch League, playoff glory looked a very distant chance for the LA Valiant, but now they have a chance. In fact, they have to. Welcome back here to the Kick-Out Rivalry Weekend, live from the Nova at LA Live, and the Los Angeles Valiant are trying to find their way into playoff glory, Matt.
And they got to get one win in one of these 2 games this weekend. This would be a big one. You're able to come over, beat the Gladiators, right? The LA rivalry, the Battle of LA. You're able to beat the Gladiators to secure a playoff spot. That would be massive for the Valiant.
And to have an opportunity. Let's look back at past battles for LA, and you'll actually see that historically the Valiant have had the edge, although recently it was the Gladiators to take the victory 2-1, and that's a close series. That means there was a draw in there. It's always fierce competition between these 2 rosters.
And you know, this season is the one you probably take the most stock in, and it was a Gladiators win, but now you can see why this match matters so much. The Valiant sitting on the outside looking into the play-ins. This is a team that had a stage they didn't win a game. They'll still be in it. It's kind of unreal, and all they got to do is get one win this weekend. They got to find it either today or against the Shock tomorrow. I think if you're the Valiant, you'd like to find it in this matchup.
And homestand weekends have always been a good omen for teams. Look at Dallas, look at Atlanta. But the Valiant, they're looking for a home ground feel when essentially the city is divided. We've got the Gladiators and the Shock. All California matches coming up for the Los Angeles Valiant. If there's one person that's got to get them across this line, it's got to have to be Custa, Matt, leading from the front.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be big for the LA Valiant today. He was really like a spark for them last season, right? They make a mid-season trade. Custa comes in from the Dallas Fuel, and then the Valiant start winning. This year, he's been their leader from the start. And I think you would kind of obviously look at it as a fail season if they don't make the playoffs. I think it would really stink from where they were, being one of the worst teams in the league, to not being able to make it, getting so close.
One of the biggest turnarounds. The only reason why the Valiant have a chance now is because even in their losses, they were so close. Some real quality losses, some map 5 losses to Titans like New York and the Hangzhou Spark at the start of the season. But Matt, it's time to get this party started. It's time to get excited. We're going to head now over to the stage for Golden Boy as he brings him out.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. That's right, folks. It's now time for the Battle for LA. We've done this dance so many times in the past, but I'm so thrilled to be here once again with all you fine folks here at the Novo and those of you watching at home. So give yourselves a round of applause for being so amazing. Now, we figured that what would be the best way to bring out the home team, and we thought it would be a good way to bring them out with some class, with some style. So allow me in welcoming to the stage here, you got JD Ruiz with the Game Music Ensemble at UCLA, and DJ Gerard K. Marino. Take it away. help turn the Valiant season around. It's the Invisible Dane. It's Shax! Living up to his name, the man who could compliment any dish, McGravy! Next up, the outlaw who saw the light, wings out for Back Fiction! He used to go by the name of Kyle Smiles. You might know him for his recent Hanzo and Widowmaker performances. SKSF! The Canadian who has perfected the Genji dash, but is also dashingly handsome. It's Agility! This next man needs no introduction. Valiant, give it up for your sleep dart legend, Cobri! And finally, the off-tank who would win an eating contest with his Matrix usage, it's Space! Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, your Los Angeles Valiant! Give it up one more time for the band. Incredible stuff. Players, take to the stage. And tonight, the Valiant's playoffs hopes are on the line. They have an epic journey that they've been through from the bottom of the pack at the beginning of the 2019 season to standing on the brink of season playoffs here today. They just have 2 matches left in the season, and they need to win at least one of those matches in order for them to make it to the play-in tournaments and keep their season alive. Because the Chengdu Hunters will be watching and hoping the Valiant fail this week. But the fans and the team aren't ready for the Valiant season to be over yet. And for a team that started off struggling, the Valiant are a real comeback story in the making. They have some tough opponents in their way. This weekend is going to be a challenge. Valiant fans, are you guys ready? Well, now it's time to bring out their opponents, and we will do so in just a moment. So is it wings out? Shields up? How about over here? Up there? Over here? Oh, well, it's time now to bring out their opponents, the Los Angeles Gladiators. And now it's time for the battle for LA. Are you ready? Let's send it over to your casters, Over and Mr. X.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy, and what a way to set the stage for one of the most important battles for LA we have seen.
It's the most important one. You are judged in the Overwatch League of whether you make the playoffs or not. I think some teams are held to an even higher standard than that, and I think both these teams coming into the year, you expected them to be locks for the playoffs. The Gladiators, they've achieved that. The Valiant still need to find a way to get in, and I know we do the Cheddar Esports like every week, right? And I was on there this week, and they're like, oh, you think the Valiant get in? And immediately I was like, yes. And then I was like, wait, they need to win one game. I was like, where do they find it? And I was like, it has to be this one. It has to be the battle for LA. With how good
We
the
just
San
saw the
Francisco Shock have looked,
Yeah.
it has to be this one.
And if it isn't, it's going to be a tough one. A big head-to-head in this matchup. Surefour and KSF both have played a reasonable amount of Hanzo. Surefour, definitely running with the pack in a lot of those statistics. KSF actually shining in a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, KSF is not like a as big of a name a player as Surefour, but the results have been really strong. I think he got off to a rough start when he came into the Overwatch League, but since then he's really settled down, turned into a very nice player, a real big impact in a positive way for the Valiant this year.
Surefour, you know, as his career goes on, becomes a little bit more outspoken. He says, no, I don't agree that I'm a passive player. I don't agree that I'm not, you know, a front line headlining DPS, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. What a stage to do it on here. I mean, the Novo at LA Live is absolutely electric, and let's head into our map pool, presented to you by Toyota.
We can take a look.
Ilios is first.
Ilios, Volskaya, Blizzard World, and Havana. It's interesting. You have a lot of good Hanzo maps. Like, you kind of look at some of these maps, it's like, well, do we see the Reaper? Do we see the Hanzo? A lot of these maps, very good long sight lines for
Volskaya,
Hanzo,
Blizzard
for Farah.
World, Havana, it's all there.
A good set for Hanzo players in this one.
And all the goodies you could ask for now as well will be our first map here. Make some noise! It's time to get the biggest battle for LA underway.
So Custa comes out on the Lucio, provides the speed boost to the rest of the team, then goes to Mercy. So both teams running the Mercy with Ana when you're going to play this Widowmaker and Farah setup.
KSF can't peek too far forward yet. Space is trying to create a little bit of that for him on this right-hand side. Again, this is fairly conservative play for KSF early on. You see him rotate to the left side, he might start getting a bit more aggressive, looking for bigger picks. Valiant have, oh, over the edge! Agility's big concussive mine, and without Roar in the picture, it's bad news for the Gladiators. Where's their staying power gonna be?
Yeah, no shield to put on the point, a lot of damage coming down from Agility's Zespara, and that'll be the point first for the LA Valiant. So, Valiant in control, it's the big concussive blast from Agilities that sends Roar into the hole. Get that main tank out of the equation, you're able to secure the point.
There's almost a mini game there. Can you force the enemy Orisa to use that Fortify and then hit them with the concussive blast to knock them into the pit? The Valiant start off in control, and that means the Gladiators have to step up to the plate, and that they do. Hydration's able to get rid of KSF. He's worked around the opposite side. So Agilities has to kind of try and repeat the same thing on his own now. Fact Fiction gets nano boosted to Roar, and here going head to head. Roar in trouble though. Couldn't stay alive. It looked as if Big Goose was trying to help him stay healed as well, but Hydration's now looking for Kareev. He ducks behind the pole, he can't get away. Supercharger thrown down by Los Angeles though, and Kareev, he's back in the fight.
Yeah, they actually use a nano boost on a Fact Fiction there. They keep him topped up, and Agilities does a nice job pressuring out Shaz and Surefour on the backside of the point.
He had to do that map with his Widowmaker out of the picture.
Yeah, as soon as Agilities lands a rocket onto Surefour, Shaz there as well. Void has to double back with the defense matrix, help those players out. Just taking the pressure from the Gladiators off the point.
Concussive blast there from Hydration does not achieve the same effect as Agilities earlier. They'll play around the lighthouse for the time being. Hydration and Agilities. It's a mutual knockout. Cuts is the first one to go down and go for the resurrect, and that means that Big Goose might not actually be able to bring his Farah back. That puts the Gladiators behind in numbers, and the Valiant still control the point, Matthew. Infrasight still ticking for KSF.
And they have to back out. They lose Void here. So Void trying to use a self-destruct over the top. Space hunted him down, was able to take him out. His Agilities eliminating his Canadian brother Surefour there. They'll res this back up, but you're not going to have another res here as you approach the point.
94% on the clock. The Valiant have a barrage and a nano boost to work with. That's a deadly combination. Agilities is about to show us why. There is a Diva in his way, and Hydration already gets around the other side of the map. But Roar is down. Both teams are missing their Orisas, but the Valiant are in control. Agilities is put to sleep, but no one can pay him any mind right now. There's too much pressure from the front. Kareev's gone down to Surefour, and KSF now needs to start to lift. Looking for the Diva, a lot of damage here on towards Void, enough to get him desuited. Both Surefour and KSF are matching each other's movements across the map, but Surefour gets Agilities, it don't matter. KSF gets rid of Void, the Valiant is still in control, and Agilities is back, but KSF is down.
Surefour though, making some big boy plays, picking up some kills. So you're going to have some players get back on the point here for the Gladiators. This fight is not over yet.
They need Big Goose here. Hydration had no mercy. Pocket. Surefour, how does he pick this? He can't. Fact Fiction rolls on up and dispatches him. Void sat on the point very low, and the Valiant now are in an overwhelming advantage, and the sleep dart is the cherry on top. Kareev sends that one across the map. Fact Fiction in a great position to deny any access here from the Gladiators. Valiant are in control, and they don't look like they're letting go anytime soon. Hydration lands on the scene as the Doomfist, but makes hardly a splash. And that's round one to the green and gold.
You know, the Gladiators, they come out with 15% there, but that's really like an 100-0. The 15% only comes when the Valiant kind of step off the point for a quick second in a little bit of an overtime scenario. They flip the point. Otherwise, that is all Valiant there on the first point.
Matt, agility, 6 final blows, 2 deaths, big numbers. Fact Fiction, only 1 death on the Orisa to Raw's 4. That's the difference maker.
Agilities is that type of player where sometimes he can come out and dominate the server, right? Like, he has that type of talent. It's just you don't see it every game in, game out. He's hit or miss sometimes.
But when you do,
oh, he's unreal.
All right, now on to the Lighthouse. Composition-wise, bit of a change. KSF goes for the Doomfist. Surefour and Hydration stay with what they had earlier on well. It will still be a Pharah battle to rule the skies. See if the wings out is going to be enough.
This comp for the Valiant's all about getting control of the point. You can force fights on the point, get control of the point.
They want KSF to get in there and just get combo kills one after another.
You can make really good use of the Doomfist.
What's he hustling for? He's back behind the Gladiators now. They may not know he's here. Jordy's just playing safe until KSF finds that. Oh, are you kidding me? Kareem getting rid of Surefour, who had to be resurrected. And now the Valiant move on to the point. Fact Fiction shield was a little worse for wear, but he replaces it with that cooldown. The Pharah could be an issue. Fact Fiction needs to be careful not to get knocked off, but KSF gets Shaz. That's the first pick. Another one. And Custer, without Valkyrie, mind you, gets rid of Hydration. That's a flex if I've ever seen one.
It's really KSF, though, who gets a double, right?
Getting rid of the island to start is big.
Well, Kareem actually gets to pick on the Surefour. That forces the res. And then Surefour backs down underneath with Shaz. And there's no way that the Widowmaker can defend against the Doomfist close range. His Ana gets eliminated. Then it's just a punch right to Surefour. KSF's able to get 2.
Oh, Surefour took a direct rocket hit just there while he was going for an air shot. I mean, the stones on agilities to go for that, knowing that Widow can pick him off in 1. KSF's forced back to the point, though. It looked like Void was chasing, and Raw gets the finish. The Valiant now, 5 players to work with, and the barrage with the nano boost from Hydration. It had to be now the Gladiators to make a play. Valiant get to 40%, and that's where it'll stop for now.
Yeah, as Space tries to get on a contest here. At the end, he gets taken out, didn't make it back fast enough. So you'll have the Valiant now wait for some spawns. KSF gonna switch. Does he play Widow of his own? Yes, that'll be the change here. For KSF, you know you're about even in terms of Infrasight because Surefour had just used his, it just ran out. Didn't really do a lot of damage towards the end.
The Valiant had a chance to wrap up their playoff spot last week, Matt. Would have been a lot less stressful here to come out here to LA Live and know that they kind of already had it sorted. Sometimes good things don't come easy. 32% already. The Gladiators in a blink of an eye have almost equaled that percentage. But Hydration's out of the picture now. Custer probably popping Valkyrie to keep an eye on Big Goose, making sure Hydration isn't brought back in. And there is the barrage. Agilities descends and Big Goose decimated. In fact, Fiction getting rid of Raw. The Valiant now move to retake the point. 50 and counting, baby.
It's the first pick-off from KSF on to Hydration. You know, you're able to get that 1 pick. And because Void was actually putting a lot of pressure on the KSF, and as soon as they lose that 1 player at the hands of KSF, he can't just dedicate everything to going all in on the Widow.
Oh, 4! More like a hole-in-one, Agilities. Goes in with that melee finish, the damage boost doing a lot. You are kidding, Big Goose!
You can't do that.
And yours is cooked. Tries to get the resurrect. I mean, maybe he feels like he had to. The Gladiators looks like they're losing their grip on this.
So I'll have a nano boost here for the Valiant. Could use it on the far. That'll be a self-destruct here. So you're actually you're going to catch Fact Fiction playing a little bit too close up. Let's see if the Gladiators can take advantage.
Can they buy enough time to get Fact Fiction back into the fight? That looks like it's the plan at least. Agility's nano booster, but it's not saving him from this. Just pressure from Hydration with the rockets. Agility somehow being kept alive, and the Valiant is still in control. It's 99%. The Gladiators have to make the play now. Looks like the Valiant let them do it. Yeah. They don't want to give up too much here. They give the point over knowing that only 1 more fight will end the map.
And they know without Fact Fiction coming back, they can't contest that. They do have a supercharger to use, so you may as well give it up. Flip the point, don't give away any more ult percentage. You think you have the advantage in terms of ult economy here, which you do. I mean, you're coming in with 5 ultimates. You need 1 fight here to take the map.
Infrasight from KSF now, valuable information. They look to try and catch Big Goose there, but he was pulled out of trouble. Valiant already contesting the point. They're going to try and create space for KSF. Good night, Sweet Prince. Make it 2. KSF doubles down on the Widowmaker, and that is a blow the Gladiators may not be able to recover from. Kareev is back in the mix now. Agility's had a barrage, and he lets it rip on Raw. The Valiant now at 99%, and there is no one to contest the supremacy of Ilios. 1-0 in the Battle of LA. Los Angeles fans on their feet. Thundersticks akimbo. And that's how you want to begin a series, Matt, to get yourself into the playoffs.
A really good first map from Agilities and KSF. You needed these damage dealers to step up against Surefour and Hydration. They do it in map number 1. We'll see what goes on in map number 2 after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
If you're a fan of the wings out, if you're a fan of the green and gold, this is just the start the Doctor asked for. A very strong showing from Los Angeles on Ilios map. They look like they absolutely had the map and composition down pat. And you know they've been working real hard to get into the season playoffs.
And I think obviously we know how strong the Shock are. The Valiant know that as well. You have to be dumping everything you got into this match. Obviously the Gladiators a very tough opponent, but this is your best chance to win. In KSF, he was really good in map number 1.
That was astonishing. You know,
really
he
good
comes
winnow.
across the sleeping Farah. Obviously, even with a mercy pocket, you still get the kill on a charged headshot. And then a casual flick up to headshot the widow, to the mercy that was coming to resurrect.
That player mentioning is actually set up by Kareev.
Yep.
He sleeps hydration out of the sky. They get that first headshot,
That's
bring Big Goose back down.
Man,
Side.
this guy is a freak.
Games like this, though, you got to make plays like that, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's cool to make them against some of the bottom teams in the regular season, right? But this is just a different vibe. So,
Okay, the big guns are out now.
the K comes in here for the Gladiators. You see all that Widow shenanigans from KSF on the other side. You bring in Decay. Surefour, though, is a tremendous Widow in his own right.
That's
but
right.
this allows him to play some different compositions here. for the Gladiators, as Volskaya is the next map coming up.
Decay, we've seen a lot of May from him especially. Definitely seems a pocket for him, whereas Surefoot can play that Hanzo. It's kind of nutty, I'll be honest with you. And it's going to have to be. 12 and 14 for the Valiant map. What a season. Ups and downs, man. Losing, what, 2 or 3 map 5s in that first stage to go 0-7, and they were a joke.
They were brutal.
They were being ridiculed the entire time. The Gladiators were brutal to them on Twitter.
A lot of moves roster-wise for this Valiant to get to this position.
Yeah.
Some props making all those moves.
They earned the faith of the fans back. It's just crazy, man. That's a redemption arc.
So KSF probably going to try and teleport these players across. Let's see though. Is it expected?
We're going to take a left turn at Albuquerque now, fam. Squad just turning up.
He'll play either Hanzo or the Widow here. So he'll go Widow. Can get to the choke point, the front, try and make a play. Surefoot knows that though. He's going to kind of patrol towards the choke. You can see his Hanzo outline as he fires the Sonic Arrow. So he knows that KSF's playing there. So you can see that from his POV.
No honor on defense for the Gladiators. They're playing an aggressive comp. There it is. The floodgates open. 2 important picks. But with KSF going down, might be an option here for the Gladiators to stall this one out. Decay into Ice Block. Agilities, though, would like to take the fight to Big Goose, and that is one-sided.
Agilities, like we talked about him earlier, like tremendous Genji player, really strong on the far, like Hanzo, and I think when you get him on his comfort picks, he can have games like this where he can really carry in the damage dealer role. KSF going Tracer just to get back. He'll go Hanzo now. Not a lot of ultimates on the board, as that is a really fast point A take there for the Valiant.
5 minutes 35 on the clock to be exact. A ton of time to work with. Valiant getting rolling with some of these ultimates as well. Surefoot switching on the Hanzo to the Widow now. Expecting to be able to sit in the background and do a bit more work from there. Concussive blast agilities attempting to knock Roar out of formation, but Void the sleek dart and the D-suit and the cleanup on the pilot. Agilities! Oh my lord! Get Surefoot, and this is just an absolute disaster for the Gladiators. Big Goose down, Fact Fisher gets the job done. Oh my word!
This is going quick. So the Valiant, they're able to take both points. 4 minutes and 59 seconds in the bank. I would talk about the defensive team, but there was no defense played there whatsoever.
Shell shock the Gladiators. I got a bit of a comeback to mount in just a moment.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
A cloven shield and 6 very rattled gentlemen sit on the purple side of the stage. The Gladiators got rolled out of defense here on Volskaya, and now they have to try and match a 5-minute time bank from the Valiants.
I would say, obviously, this is a huge match for both teams as it's the battle for LA. But the Valiant come in here, and this is like their grand final. It's like a loser bracket final match in this scenario where they know, like, this is pretty much like a win or go home scenario they're in, where you play with a different level of intensity. I feel like you're seeing that.
Who was the first team to beat the Vancouver Titans in regular season play?
It was the LA Valiant.
That's right. Maybe they have a chance to deal with the shock, but they're hoping to get it done here. They can have a bit of fun tomorrow.
There's always a chance. I would not want to leave it to chance.
No.
Decay trying to hunt down KSF, not able to do so, but the Gladiators have made it through the choke. Now just got to make some progress on the point.
Raw shield a little bit. Haggard and Void already put on the butcher's hook.
He was pretty far away. I mean, he was kind of going on.
He was looking for a pick,
yeah,
and that kind of worked against him. Couple individual playmaking attempts on the Gladiators' side yields very little.
The Gladiators will back out now. You lose your off tank, you lose another player. You have to move back. It looks like Decay going back to the spawn.
Man.
I think Decay is going to switch. Do you play double hit scan here? Do you try and play? Okay, so he's going to play Tracer. So it's like, all right, they're going to have Surfer play the Widowmaker.
Tracer.
I was like, yeah, but I think you feel like you need to put some pressure on like Kareev. You need to get these players from the Valiant playing a little bit defensively, like looking around, kind of a little bit worried. Like everything you're doing, just going at them. They're so prepared for it. I think the biggest thing is you have not been able to scare agilities whatsoever. 40% of the team damage hasn't died yet.
Kareev is averaging about 1 sleep a minute on this map, and they've all been very impactful. Can they shut him down, though? Look at the Valiant sitting on this war chest of ultimates.
Agility's gone on the plane. He's going to come from...
He's wrapped around the backside. See him at the top of your screen there. Vara, now how do you protect against this? Raw has to get on the enemy side of his own barrier. The Gladiators have no choice because of Agility's position there. They have to commit to the point, and they've lost Decay already. They get rid of Fact Fiction. That's a good opener there. No shield left. Shaz in trouble. KSF probing. One more arrow would do it. No, he just gets away. And in the meantime, Surefour tears strips up the Valiant. No shield, no win.
This will be a .8 take for the LA Gladiators. We can take a look from Surefour's POV.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
The Matrix turns around.
Well, he's stepping up to the plate in a big way.
Oh, that was nice.
And a moment too soon needed. The Gladiators, as it stands, have no chance of equaling the time bank of the Valiant, but they can make it darn competitive from here on out.
You have Supercharger here for the Valiant to use to buy yourself some time.
The Gladiators also have the Zen Batiste. They want to roll over the top of them with a Supercharger and an Amp Matrix.
Dragon Strike as well here for the Valiant. You could use to just split some players off. They're going to shoot it right through. Yep. So we saw this a little bit earlier. So when they drop the Amp Matrix, Big Goose drops that down. You shoot the Dragon Strike straight on through it. You know players are going to be clumped up around it. A good halt comes through. That also allows you to save your own Supercharger as well.
Matthew, importantly, Big Goose's Immortality Field got drawn out of the Gladiators early in that fight. They had to use it to get to the point without losing a player, and so they didn't have it when the Dragon came through. 3 minutes 30 now. That time bank slowly starting to dwindle.
It's funny, Gladiators' offense seemed like it was pretty good. Still not as fast. That'll be a self-destruct over the top from Void. Connects with KSF. Oh, loads of kills here for the Gladiators.
The Valiant were kept alive by the Immortality Field, but they were still knocked into the Gladiators, even if they didn't die. KSF himself wasn't in the field, and now they're on the ropes. Void gets rid of Fact Fiction. We'll see a Doomfist come onto the point here. KSF will try and stall out. He needs an insta-kill, and he gets hit with a hold immediately. Immortality Field thrown in the corner, but KSF didn't quite make it to the safe haven. Space drops down. Hook, but as the defense matrix in the way, Void keeps him alive, and the Gladiators keep afloat.
Gladiators complete the map. Pretty good time. Obviously not as good as the Valiant, but now the Gladiators, you have an opportunity to go back on the defensive end and maybe put up a better stand. You may be able to squeeze this map out. We'll see if they can do it in OT after this.
That was a nasty self-destruct by Void. In a world where there isn't an immortality field, it probably kills at least 3 players. Just getting 1 and knocking 2 of the Valiant into the waiting Gladiators, it was unbelievable placement. That is what kept them alive.
Interesting to see them go to the Tracer yet again. It did work being able to apply pressure onto KSF and Kariv. See if they can make it happen yet again. So 2 minutes 40 on the clock here for the Gladiators on offense.
Roadhog, Zenyatta, Batiste coming with the aggression.
Not the Batiste anymore.
He got sent packing. 4 players involved in that kill.
I mean, all you need is like a halt, right? Agilities just shoots at the halt, has the damage boost. That is.
Agilities, those concussive blasts, you can see how much of a difference they make when your opponents are depending on positional play.
But look at like Decay's behind, and he just
got it this time.
He gets a pick on a Kariv, they have to burn the res, right? So
he can spawn camp that as well.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it gets res, right? So now he can at least stay behind. You know where Kariv's going to play is from. You don't have a res if one of these other players go down. Now all you need is a shirt force shot onto Agilities to open things up.
Raw ate an early hook there. Decay, though, starting to be a problem. Who is going to answer oh my, who's going to answer this threat? After Decay gets the recall. There it is, KSF, headshot. And if the Valiant can keep doing that, Decay won't be able to have the impact he's looking for. Surefour playing awfully close to this Widowmaker. Space taking a ton of damage, but not really bothered. Oh, Lane Roberts, you are a cheeky man to stay around for that. Agility's got the D-suit on Void, but had to get his life up there. Big U's got the amplification matrix in play.
And he dies in a position where the Gladiators push right on top of his body, so you're not going to be able to res this. The Gladiators will now start to move on to the point. That's going to be a pick from Decay.
It was the hold. They didn't need a Roadhog. The Tracer was there to follow up on it. Supercharger thrown down. The Gladiators move to capture. Kariv, though, he got rid of Surefour. That's the first. Here's a Valkyrie from Custer. The Valiant are serious now. Pulse bomb from Decay to shut down Fact Fiction, but he is back in a flash. Agility's got taken down. He switched to the Doomfist, and I don't think the Valiant are ready yet. Now they're going to push on at the final moment. Void pushed away, whole hog. Oh, he's de-suited, and now Raw is stuck inside the bunker with Space. Not who you want to share that space with at all. Decay blinking. Big Goose now. Exo Boots taken to the high ground. The Gladiators want to salvage what remains and get ready for one more push. One final chance to stay in the map.
And Fact Fiction knows he's got to get back quick. He knows that the Gladiators are going to come on an offensive push pretty heavy, so he's going to come back on Wrecking Ball just to try and get in the fight rather quickly. It'll be a nano boost available for Kariv. Do you nano boost Agilities? Like, just go in, get an insta-kill on a player.
Yeah, because if you get halted, you have the damage mitigation. Perhaps that's where you can just get a couple kills and end it there. Amplification Matrix goes up, though. What is the Valiant going to do? Agilities goes in. He's looking for Big Goose, doesn't get it. Nano boost does help a fair bit, but not enough to get the Batiste. Over the top is Custer. What does he do from here now? The Valiant are off the point. Decay is there with a pulse bomb. He drops it. No one's there to pick it up, though. He'll deliver it again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Space brought back to life. KSF gets in there. Oh, are you kidding me? The Valiant back in the fight. Surefour able to get rid of Space, but KSF ends Raw with a palm to the face. Charge through here from Void, and they got it. Just got it.
Barely.
Now you better sleep it off, Void. You worked it, but there's more work to be done. Doesn't get any closer than that. And the look on Space's face tells the whole story. He wanted it to be over right there.
The Gladiators by themselves a very minimal amount of time. So Surefour will have a dragon. You may need to use this to just buy space, open it up. There it is.
Gonna be now. Fact Fiction has to leave the safety of his shield, and there's a D-suit there. Boy with a self-destruct somehow getting Fact Fiction. What a critical blow to suffer. The Valiant, they lost their pivot. Space is out of position, and he gets run down by Surefour. Can Agility save the day? The answer is no. Decay puts him on ice. And Kariv can't stand on the point either. The Gladiators, what an unlikely situation. Poised to take point B the second time on this map. Still in overtime, but the Valiant are running out of options now. The Lucio's here. Custer wants to try and stall it out. KSF playing from the high ground. Oh no! Are you kidding me? No! The Gladiators have crumbled! The Valiant bring out 3 players. Quick couple kills. KSF gets rid of Space. The match is gone, and so are the chances of the Gladiators. never seen anything quite like that.
Yo, KSF gets a nano boost on the Hanzo, gets onto the point, and just starts taking names.
Get out! Get out! That is ridiculous!
Oh, and yo, so it's actually a nuts play from Decay earlier in the, like way earlier. So on the May, he boosts, like back Fiction, puts down his shield to save himself from Void self-destruct, and Decay uses a May wall to boost him up outside of the shield, gets him to open up that fight. We can take a look at that.
Break it down for me, man.
I believe that's what happened. So you'll see the self-destruct that'll come in. I believe it's just a, yep, May wall right over the top there. So he would have made it to the corner and around the shield, but wow. KSF having himself a series thus far.
15 final blows, 6 deaths. 30% of his team's overall damage. Agilities has the other 30.
It's not, that's those two have been playing crazy. And it's a series where you needed them to step up because we know how good Surefour and Decay both are for the Gladiators. Like, that is one of the strengths of this Gladiator team, are these damage dealers. And to play that well. So the Gladiators, they make an adjustment here on defense. They actually look over towards the side to see if that Symmetra teleporter strat's happening again. As soon as they don't see anything, they rotate back to the point. Does leave themselves pretty vulnerable on the point.
Kareem got hooked.
Yeah, they're lucky. Get a first pick there. It's big.
Now they'll play from a safe distance. Try not to get staggered, and if they can get a pick themselves, then fine. But they're not going to commit for it. It's a lot of time on the clock. 72.7% on point B for the Gladiators.
That's interesting. So Agilities will go away from the Pharah, which he's been so good at. And he will play Mei. So they'll play Mei Hanzo against the Mei Widow. This allows Surefour to have a real big advantage in terms of damage at distance, right? Nobody can really contest him easily here.
KSF takes a peek. Gives an arrow and backs away. Surefour for the air shot now. Spoiled for choice there, wasn't he? Careful. Space takes a breather, has no choice. Kareem also a glancing blow given by Surefour, who's rotating.
No one can hide.
Here's the infra site. We've got the space.
Yeah.
This could all make that all too easy. And the Valiant, back up.
It's the Valiant. They can't play too passive here. They need to really make something happen soon, because those 4 minutes plus that they have is going to dwindle down pretty quick. Already 3 minutes on the clock. And look,
another one.
You keep losing players early. These halt hook combos are starting to come in from the Gladiators. And if you're the Gladiators, you're on stage, right? You hear everybody going crazy and the Valiant are doing good. 3 early pickoffs, this place is silent, right? You gotta feel pretty good about that. The Gladiators, they know that on stage. You start to suck the air out of this building, gain the momentum.
2 minutes, 46 seconds. Dragon strike for KSF. Custer has an amplification matrix. Oh, what a
there you go.
pick! Hold hook, looks like it did the job on Void. That's one, where are the rest? Amplification matrix thrown up, Custer lets it rip, and the rest of his team start to break that Mei wall down. The immortality field from Custer's already gone, and the Gladiators prepare themselves to pounce. KSF is trying to find Surefour. He needs to get the pick, needs to find the kill. Surefour senses danger, Spidey senses tinkling, he raffles to safety. KSF is on the chase, a Dragon strike to the point, he knows Surefour's looking for him right now. Another immortality field taken down by Custer on Blizzard for safety, perhaps. Look at Kareem and Custer to the side. They pick off Decay, but they lose back Fiction. Now losing Kareem because they have no shield. And the Gladiators start to stretch their legs a bit more. They have to feel confident in this fight now, and the Valiant have to get out.
They should be able to hold this. You still have some players lingering on the point for the Valiant. The Valiant are going to invest their amp matrix into this. Custer, he will fall. So just like that, we went from 4 minutes in the bank for the Valiant down to 1 minute and 30. It's the Gladiators putting together a great defense. Just Surefour's infra site here, so just walls for the LA Gladiators. For the Valiant, you have the Transcendence, you have the Supercharge. gotta use these ultimates to be able to take this point. If you don't do it here, you're in trouble.
Slippery shore for staying safe. Transcendence to start the fight. Kareem means business, and Raw, he's out of business. Jorfor has the vision of this one. He's looking for heads, but he can't find any, and his time is about up. The Valiant finally come up with the answer, the solution to a perplexing problem, but still have a minute and 22 on the clock. They still need this capture percentage on B.
When you have a Blizzard, you're gonna have a Dragon rather quickly. Do you play and wait for the Dragon? Let KSF farm some ult here rather quickly. It's up to 80% now. You can get Dragon Strike pretty quick. See if they'd even decide to wait as, ooh, Surefour.
2 picks.
Opens it up. So now you have to wait. This also, the early picks are huge for the Gladiators because buys them some time. And look what this time's gonna do for the Mitch. You're gonna get a Blizzard out of this. You're gonna get a Supercharger, a Whole Hog, maybe a Transcendence. That pick by Surefour could be the difference in the game.
The Gladiators have everything they need. The Valiant, just a Blizzard, a Dragon Strike, whatever they could scrounge together, and they don't have the time to wait for more. This is their last chance at Volskaya, and they've lost the dualies. Jorfor, dead from afar. And the Hanzo has surely sealed the Valiant's fate now. They had to go with 4. They prefer to be 7. They've got no choice in the matter. Dragon Strike for Surefour. He wants the finish on Kareem. A Hulk trying to pull him into position. The Valiant, they're run ragged. They've got hardly anything to work with here. It's desperation and nothing more than that. Onto the point they go with Dualies. Tries for the Blizzard. They get Raw in it, but there's going to be one from Decay as well. A Venn diagram of carnage. And Decay gets the finish on the Dualies. Gusta tries to step up, but the Gladiators have shields up. And my God, we have ourselves a tight series.
No heroics from KSF there in your overtime pushes. That's a round where the Valiant started with about 4 minutes on the clock, and it all goes for nothing when these 2 picks happen. Back-to-back picks from Surefour on the Hanzo at range tie us up going into half.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
With a win here, the Valiant will punch their ticket into the playoffs, but the Gladiators aren't trying to do their LA co-tenants any favors. They have things all tied up at 1-1 at the half. What's up, everybody? Malik here. The crew is back. Zoe, Brandon, Sideshow. We are here at the Novo at LA Live. Guys, if you're a Chengdu Hunters fan, if you're an Atlanta Reign fan, or a fan of these two teams, you got to be sweating. We aren't the only ones who've been sweating out here, guys. These guys got to be sweating.
I mean, it's very pleasant now. It's very cool. But probably not on our stage. It's probably heating up quite tremendously.
Oh, yeah. They'll be feeling the pressure right now. It's so close. You can feel a little bit of nerves creeping into the game. A couple of mistakes here and there, but some huge clutch plays as well.
Indeed. And you guys got to be sweating because of that bet you made earlier, I would imagine.
I'm not going to lie.
We both got ready, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So we both already got our swimmer on. I'm still confident in the Gladiators.
Okay.
Well, I'm confident in my pick, Zoe.
Oh,
Doesn't matter who wins.
But I said it first, so
Doesn't matter who wins. It's about who pumps out more damage.
Yes.
So
yes. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the
confident.
highlights because I want to refresh you guys' memory. You know what could potentially be happening in the second half. Starting off with Ilios, lots of popping off from the Valiant side. Agility's killing on Alfaro so far in this game.
Oh, he really was. And Short4, he was in a world of trouble at the very first map there. They didn't give him too much space. He got picked out a lot. He didn't get much done on his Widowmaker, unfortunately, because it was all Agility's really. This was his game.
It was actually an unreal performance from a lot of people in this lobby across the board. I mean, KSF is always a guy who's had a rough start, honestly, to the season as a overall, I would say. I mean, when he joined the LA Valiant squad, last year, he wasn't performing up to the level he is now, and it's good to see that he's evolved into the player that he is today.
Yeah, it looks like he's really gaining his confidence out there. Moving on to Volskaya, though, a straight nail biter that match was, man. It could have really gone either way.
yeah, it absolutely could. I mean, Volskaya is very different to the way that Ilios plays out. It's much more about being able to take angles. And Short4 was playing a lot of this Widowmaker that was sometimes working out and sometimes not really doing too much. And then when they went and mirrored the Mei Hanzo, that was where the Gladiators started actually getting a bit more steam building up. But both teams were pretty comfortable playing this. But like I said, this is where some nerves fell into it as well, because a couple of times people missing shots, whipping stuff, ultimately thrown out.
Yeah, it was an interesting game though, and I think a lot closer than you guys were predicting at least. I mean, you both predicted that the Gladiators...
yeah, but I never said they're going to roll over them.
No.
Like, that literally never happened.
Huge play at the end from Short4, though, to pick up those two players,
massive.
because I think he'd been quiet for the majority of this series so far, actually. You know, the Widowmaker wasn't getting that much done. Okay, you know, you're feeling yourself, you want to pick the Widow, but it didn't quite work out. That 2K at the end, though, really sealed the deal for the Gladiators.
I do feel like both teams had a very similar plan. They both focused very heavily on the tank lines from either team. So Fact Fiction as well as Raw, they got caught out like very early on in the games. They were out of the equation, and that left everyone very vulnerable. So there was a lot of repositioning going on from both of those teams.
Yeah, very surgical game, targeting the tanks. I like that. So, guys, let's take a full look at the map pool because, of course, this is a very map-specific game, and especially in this matchup. We're going to Blizzard World next, and we got Havana coming up after that. I don't know who these maps favor going into this match. It's so all over the place for me. So what do you guys
Mr. X was saying it on the lead-up. I think we're going to see a lot of Mei Hanzo being played.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's two maps that suit it very nicely as well.
Yeah.
Havana and Blizzard World, you see a lot of sniper compositions on both these. Long sight lines kicking off all over the place, especially the last point of Havana.
Yeah, and that kind of plays into both teams' strength. So it's really hard to put a favorite here.
Well, Sideshow, I believe you have a little bit more about the performance of these two teams on those second half maps, right?
Yeah, I went back and watched a bunch of tape from the Valiant and from the Gladiators to get a feel for kind of the way that they play both Blizzard World and Havana. So I've got insights powered by Intel where I want to run you through basically the way that these teams are playing. So what I'm going to be looking at here is essentially the idea of playing narrow versus playing wide. So Gladiators are playing very narrow in this push. Everybody's coming from the same direction, whereas the Spark, their opponents, are playing from wide. Godspeed, as you can see on the right, is going to be able to shoot them from behind the shields. This is what I mean by being able to play wide. This is the best way of being able to play this Mei Hanzo composition rather. Here's another opportunity for the Gladiators, but again, they play narrow. They give Godspeed this wide angle, and they can play wide against them. But as things developed, the Gladiators actually found a better method of being able to approach this point C, which I much preferred. You can see here, Shaz and Surefour take a wide angle, and they're able to apply a lot of pressure behind the shields. This, in my opinion, is the best way of playing the Mei Hanzo, generally speaking, is to find these opportunities to dominate these wide angles and get the better end of it. So both teams need to be doing that. Now you move over to Havana. The Valiant love to run this Pharah composition, where Agilities puts a lot of pressure behind, and the opposing team coming out of the spawn can't really do anything. But Color Hex, when they played here, came out and just spanked him. Yeah, but the question is, can Surefour do this? Because otherwise it's a really difficult composition to be able to break. Whereas the Gladiators, when they play the defense, we only really have tape of when they played against Shock. A lot of Mei Reaper, and it didn't really work too well for them. You saw Surefour hiding, trying to scout, but look, he goes for an aggressive teleport here to try and get position, gets picked off, because on the approach, the Mei Reaper comp is weak. You have to actually get into their faces before you can solve things. The Mei Weeper. The Mei Weeper composition, ooh-woo, very weak.
Well, the LA Valiant are going to be weeping if they lose this match, because their playoff hopes pretty much rely on this one right here.
I think it's a really interesting strategic blend, though, particularly on Havana, because Agility's Pharah was a force in map 1. So if they can get that Pharah defense working on map 4, they are looking Gucci, honestly.
So, Gucci.
That's what they all wear.
No,
I hear that's what the kids are wearing these days.
Yeah, I pretty much like all of the London Spitfire wear Gucci, if I'm not mistaken. But is it safe to say that we're going to go to a map 5? Because it looks like, from what you just said in the insights, that the next map is going to favor the Gladiators, and our last map is going to favor the Valiant.
I think Blizzard World is very up in the air, honestly. And it's been a long time since that Gladiators game against the Shock, so it's possible they don't play the Mei Reaper anymore. We might see a full Mei Hanzo. I honestly think it's anybody's game. It could be closed out by either team in the second half, or we could go to map 5. I hope we get a map 5. And just because I want to watch these two sweat.
All right, and map 5 would be Legion. So who would you give the edge to on that map?
Ooh, probably Agility's Pharah.
Do we have the total damage numbers between these two teams?
Yeah, because you guys have a bet going.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not about who wins. It's about which team puts up more damage.
I feel like you guys both think that you're going to lose because you're both in your swim.
I'm coming prepared.
I'm coming prepared. Be prepared. Yeah.
You just want to be prepared. Giving up already. All right. Well, guys, it is all tied up 1-1 so far at the half. This has been a great matchup, guys. We're going to see the conclusion of the battle for LA in just a second. Stay tuned.
인터뷰 액션. 사람들이 저를 스타 플레이어다라고 불러주는데 그러면서 제가 느끼는 압박감은 좀 없는 것 같고 제가 집중하는 거는 이제 팀이 이기는 거기 때문에 그냥 매 경기마다 그냥 최선을 다하고 개인적인 압박감은 많이 없는 것 같아요. 이번 연도의 목표는 뭐 MVP도 받아보고 시즌에서 우승하는 거.
Gladiators, Valiant, thank you both so much for coming in today. As you know, the 7th Battle for LA is coming up. And as two super successful and super rich movie producers, we have got the perfect idea for you.
That's why the Overwatch League hired us, the brains that brought you DJ Khaled at the grand finals last year, to really hype up the match this year.
What can I say? We know what the people want.
It's totally lit 100, fam, am I right?
You guys have been in Hollywood long enough. You're big stars, and we need to embrace that. And what better way than with a big blockbuster Hollywood movie? And what's a Hollywood movie without an epic Hollywood trailer?
We're talking smoke. We're talking lasers. We're talking explosions.
Boom!
Why are there explosions?
Listen, we're talking karate. We're talking overly dramatic VO. We're talking shirtless weightlifting. Uh-oh.
This seems a little excessive.
That's Hollywood, baby.
So what do you guys say? Are you ready to make some cinema history?
In a world, in a country, there lies a city of angels, and a city of warriors. A city where dreams come true and nightmares become reality. Where heroes are born and villains meet virtuous justice.
Goats, you can't handle the goats.
Where Valkyries trumpet the sounds of cacophonous chaos and the sentry charge in with righteous indignation.
Guys, I know I've said some stuff in my time on broadcast, but this might be the most preposterous script I've ever read.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're not actually going to put this in a final cut. Like, you don't expect me to say this word for word, do you?
Oobs. Relax, my man. Can I call you Oobs? Listen, Chris Puckett. Ever heard of the guy? Esports Hall of Fame. Before he met us, guy was stocking shelves at a grocery store in Ohio. How about Golden Boy? Guy's all over the place. Might as well have been called Bronze Boy before he met the two of us. You're fine.
Bloody Americans.
Where men can wield dangerous power. And where space can make space in space. A battle that comes once in a life, 7 times in 2 seasons. For all of the rights of the Southland. It's a battle with wings out. And shields up. A civil conflict for the very soul of a city. It is the battle for Los Angeles. 7.
This just might be my masterpiece.
It's so lit.
So lit. So lit.
And that's right, our 7th battle for Los Angeles. It's been heating up. And now it's getting to critical mass. We're headed into halftime. Matthew, 1 apiece.
Yeah.
And I have never seen a crazier Volskaya Industries. Not since last year in our grand final.
I agree. Oops. Here, that's your new name now. Oops.
Why do they surround me with America? Oh, never mind.
Oops. Yeah. I don't know if it's oobs or booze, but I'm okay with either one of them.
You know, I really sold out, didn't I? Oh, well, that's the life. Matt, you obviously, maybe at some points, you guys, if you're just joining us, you might have seen a couple of the tanks on the stage. These are our Kit Kat splash tanks, Matt, and they're a lot of fun. Basically, the winning team, as you can see, we've got a super fan from each of the teams.
The people in there don't look like they're
the winning
having a ton
team
of
will get $1,500 for charity and the opportunity to dunk the other team's super fan. And of course, the winning super fan, a lifetime, a year's supply.
Year's supply.
Year's supply.
Of
Oh, Kit Kat, baby.
Lifetime.
That's the dream.
Lifetime, that would be a lot of Kit
That was my request.
Yeah, you know, I'm totally okay with that. If Kit Kat wants to give me a lifetime supply, I'm fine.
How much is that, really? It's great to be here, of course, at the Novo at LA Live. And this is a series with great importance on it. If you're just joining us, then you probably should know that the Valiant are trying to get into our overall season playoffs. Yes. They had an awful start. 0-7 in stage 1. We're rehashing a lot of information here. But either a victory in this series, Matt, against the Gladiators, or one against the Shock tomorrow.
You know,
2 tough matches. We'll get them in.
After map number 1, they probably felt great. The Valiant going into, like, map number 2, you know, in the scenario that they were in, like 4 minutes on the clock, they probably felt great. And you threw that one away. We go into Blizzard World, the second half of the series now. It'll be interesting what adjustments have been made out of halftime. As you see there, the Valiant have not won here on Blizzard World. And I feel like it's gonna be more of the same for the Valiant. You need KSF to still play that good. The bad part is he's playing that good. You didn't even win map number 2. Like, you would have loved to go in and come out of halftime with a 2-0 lead.
It was all derailed by Shore4 at the end of Volskaya. And yeah, the Valiant want to get ahead in this series. Now they have to win on a map that, frankly, they have not won all season. A big ask. However, we talked about the maps and sort of the compositions that suit. See Zoe or Bren. We'll have to see who's going to get splashed. I think that is why Bren was wearing those atrocious shorts. Seen more than enough of him for one day.
Oh, shorts are all right, Bren. I'll defend you, dog.
It was less the shorts, more the posture.
Yeah.
So the Valiant do let the Gladiators in through the front door. They're not able to strike any blood.
Both teams playing the Zen Batiste here. In terms of support.
It's aggressive, it's swinging, and Roar is down.
You just kind of saw where those halts were positioned from the back fiction. They were good. Eventually, you were going to connect with one. It's a little bit harder to defend that when you're playing on the offensive side of things. So both teams with an Amp Matrix coming in the next fight, so some extra damage going to be coming down. It's Shore4 way ahead in terms of Dragon Strike charge. I mean, he's already got the Dragons.
Plenty of damage for Shore4. I mean, he's ahead of, he's almost double KSF's damage. However, hasn't been fighting, kills with those arrows, it's been healed up. KSF scales the wall, Agilities is left on the other side of it, but he's able to get around. The Amplification Matrix does not find purchase. Here comes the Dragon Strike now. How will this affect the positioning of the Valiant? Looks like they just moved to the left, leave Fat Fiction on the right-hand side. Blizzard comes in, Agilities is going to try and reciprocate with one of his own. Both teams now, you can see Fat Fiction frozen solid as is custom with the Valiant. Trade up way better.
And the difference there is that Space is going on a flank. You have the hook that comes in from the Roadhog to open things up. He does not get frozen. Void gets pushed out to a spot on the map where he's not able to follow through on anything from that Blizzard. Still 3 players here from the Gladiators just lingering around.
Custer taken down amidst the chaos. Shore4's able to find the pick, and Space knows he has to find something now himself. Okay, that might be Shore4 trying to scale the roof. That's picked off. That's the trade. Space hooked in, taken down, but KSF was able to find Big Goose.
4v4. Fact Fiction will drop the supercharger, so some extra damage. This will allow some. Oh, actually,
Force Transcendence
gets hooked. Yeah, he's got to use it.
It's that or go back to spawn. You choose. Decay gets taken down though, so the Valiant are able to relieve this pressure, and Agilities gets another. He's not done. 1 minute, 20 seconds. Again, the Gladiators like to cut it fine.
Yeah, the Valiant used everything there to be able to hold that, as you do not have really much. You're going to have the Blizzard, you're going to have the Amp Matrix, but Transcendence will be on deck here for Shaz, so you'll be able to heal up everybody as they get stuck inside of this Blizzard.
Close to Blizzard now, Agilities. He's got it with that icicle hit. Backing up carefully. The Gladiators now let the Dragon go once more. Again, Agilities goes in with the Blizzard. How many can he catch? Looks like he gets at least Raw. He is frozen solid, but that was a Transcendence. Shore4 still take it down. 1 for 1. Void gets rid of Kareem, and now Amp Matrix sees up for all. But the Valiant get mowed down. Void, oh, Youngblood, you out there hooking first. Tut, tut. Space does win out against Void, though, but the Valiant have run out of personnel on the point, and the Gladiators will finally prevail.
Will they even be able to go back and fight this? I do not think so. That'll be the Gladiators to take point A.
They got some time to work with here as well. 2:40 on the clock. It's a long phase of the map now.
The pick on a Kareem was huge. I mean, he's 75% to trance now. He lives through that. He's going to have a Transcendence. You have that to deal with some of the other ultimates used there towards the end by the Gladiators, and you may have been able to get a first point home.
And that first Transcendence was forced out by Void just making the play. It was an individual play. He flanked around, went for the hook.
Kareem smashing Q to try and stay alive.
In terms of Transcendence healing, KSF will get the first pick on the K.
This guy, 3 final blows.
Shaz with 1,200 Transcendence healing to Kareem's 296. So you can see the Transcendences from Kareem have been forced out early on.
The Transcendence came during the Blizzard. Kareem's just to prolong his own life. Not much more to say about that. Had to be done. Here's the Hulk. KSF caught. Another pick while he was in midair, even on the void. KSF has really been doing the heavy lifting. It is incredible how he's developed as a player and talent. Oh, that lantern ain't gonna light the way for sure for. What are you doing there, Raw?
He's dead. So, just trying to live as long as possible. Has that supercharger, so 5 ultimates here.
This fight is going to be
It's kind of all
insane.
in for the Gladiators, right?
And the Valiant, you have the ultimates to keep them at bay here.
Yeah, but you don't even need to invest them. Like, the cart's moving backwards at this point of the map. If you were to die, you're still going to get another fight for the Valiant. So as long as you hold some ultimates here going into that last fight, you're going to have an advantage.
Holtz from both sides. Oh, the pick early! The Gladiators might have all the ultimates they could ask for, but not enough players. Hanzo down. So are their stonks. Their odds of taking this fight.
And they invest the Amp Matrix as well into this. That'll be Transcendent.
They're putting everything
as well. Well, they know they have to get as much progress as they can.
But they're getting nothing. They haven't found anything for all these ultimates. Blizzard comes in. Void and Raw. A very sad pair they make. Frozen in time may as well be carbonated.
25 seconds left, and they hold on to their Dragon.
What a hook!
Supercharger, the hook from space. He's got a whole hog. You're going to push up close here if you're the Valiant. You have this Dragon to separate players off. Nobody going to want to walk into this Supercharger plus whole hog combo.
The Valiant have not won Blizzard World yet this season. What a day for it to be, potentially the first time. Big Goose head first into an arrow. He headbutts and takes it for the team. Agility's a little bit low, has to stay behind the shield, and Kareem gets void. Your luck, Gladiators, have run out.
KSF and Agilities yet again come up big. Like you mentioned, Oogs, in a map that the Valiant have not won yet. They were almost in a position to full hold. And as soon as the payload starts to get going, it does not go far. Really good defensive stand from the LA Valiant. Can they do it on offense? We'll find out after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Zero and 3 the Valiant are on this map, and you heard that right. 0 wins, 3 losses in the league thus far. The Gladiators got held closer than I have seen from them in quite some time. The Valiant turned up the heat on the defense, and now all they have to do, get that first checkpoint and then an extra 70 meters, they're good. Sounds easy in theory, Matthew.
Paul, I mean, you would have thought winning Volskaya would have been easy with them having 4 minutes in the time bank.
Heavens to Betsy.
Spoiler alert, they lost. You'll have the Widow on defense here.
Can't ask for much more than this.
Yeah. Play they're just going to teleport.
Every time.
No,
Gets me every time.
We're a week away from seeing Symmetra a ton. Don't you worry. It's coming.
The Valiant now. Let's see if the Gladiators let them in. It looks like it won't be that far forward a hold. Nice wall from Agilities. It could have been his head on a platter there.
Yeah, but now you don't have the wall to break up like a hold hook combo
wait 3 seconds,
as you approach.
3 seconds is good. It's good. Oh, it's back. The wall's back, Matt.
Yeah, but
oh, there it is. Love to see it.
They don't know when the hook is coming and the halt. I mean, it's great that the wall is back. So Space has been going on these like really like long flanks. So Space actually like on the backside here. You can see Sure was here.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of a Shaz Big Goose, perhaps.
He's been doing this constantly all series, and it's resulted in getting some pickoffs. So.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Raw do the same and force the Transcendence from Kareem.
And he hasn't been punished either.
Void, sorry.
Like, Space has not been punished for going off on those odd angles, so.
Oh, Cook. Ooh. Got a big one. I think the Valiant are done here for now. Back to Lumbridge.
He got away. I mean, KSF, so much of your team's damage. The long-range ability to damage out Surefour. You have to wait for KSF to come back. He'll be back now. Benefit for the Valiant is you built up this Transcendence rather quickly, so you'll have a window of opportunity where you have both support ults here. Nice Maywall though.
Yeah, perfect placement on the other side of the Amp Matrix. Agility's hooked into his death, but there's a trade. KSF gets rid of Void, a 5v5 now on the point. Decay, reaching in his pocket, produces a Blizzard. Transcendence has to be used by Kareev here. And the Valiant are slowed up. They want to keep pressuring the point. Here's the big flank. Space has to go for the whole hog. It gets Big Goose before he goes down. It's a trade again. The Valiant only getting 1 for 1, so they might need a little bit more. Dragon Strike to make some space on the point. In the meantime, Fact Fiction's able to get some capture progress. Supercharges down. Custer, careful. Surefour is on the hunt. Void's hook goes begging. Agility's now forced into Ice Block, and Void will be waiting for him. He needs to skip back to the shield, but he can't get there in time. The headshot was lined up. Here's the hold. Here's the headshot again from Surefour. And the Valiant back to the drawing board with you.
Widowmaker is one of those heroes. You just start dominating the game. Surefour picks up a few headshots.
Oh, yeah, he's already got a tweet to Brennan drafts, mate. He's ready.
Agilities.
Heard you talking smack.
Agilities will have his Blizzard here. You gotta get a fight on the point. We're already down to a minute.
Yes.
Like, there haven't been a ton of fights on this attack for the Valiants.
Getting players picked off before the fight begins, Matt. And what are they working with here? Transcendence had to be used for the Blizzard last time.
You're dealing with an Amp Matrix. You're trying to wait out the Infrasight right now.
This is maybe your best window for the Valiant. The Gladiators aren't really working with a ton.
It's about to be your only window.
Speaking of windows, Custer has that Amp Matrix. He's probably going to have to let it go, and he does. First pick, Decay. In for dinner. What a hook over the top side, but going to be an Ice Block from Agility. Staves off death. Says not today to the Grim Reaper. Raw's caught in the corner. He can do nothing but throw out the Holt. So far, he's staying alive behind that shield, even with a Discord Orb. Space eventually gets the better of him, though, and the Valiant, this is it! They waited oh so patiently, and they'll have their just desserts. Surefour makes quite the cherry on top, if I do say so. Point A capped.
And it's huge when Custer puts down the window, the Amp Matrix. It's a right click from Agilities. Basically instantly killing Decay. That allows him to be able to hold on to the Blizzard through that fight.
Oh my, look how close the box of victory is, but KSF just gets yoinked out of formation. Space.
They got to back up.
Wishful hook there. You get a pick there, I mean, maybe it's go time. Nah, you can't let it happen. Valiant, couple deep breaths, need to reset. Fact Fiction rattling orders down the line right now. And this lets the Gladiators establish on this corner, or the high ground if they so choose. So the element of surprise, the snowball, is not available to the Valiant.
Have to be careful. If either their players keep getting chunked down low, they cannot afford to get picked off yet again.
The combo of these halts from Raw has been very good from the Gladiators.
All 6 ultimates for the Valiant.
If there's any time, you want it to be now. KSF nimbly jumps away, but not before Custer is taken down at the Valiant. They commit ultimates, they commit 2 in fact. Transcendence, Blizzard, still nothing for the Valiant. Sheepishly, Matt, they turn tail. Space is hanging around, hoping to find something, but they come up with nothing. And again, they're inside 90 seconds left.
Probably have 2 more fights if you're the LA Valiant. Do you want to invest all these ultimates here? I think you probably see Supercharger for Supercharger on both sides. You feel like you can get it over the line. That's probably when you see that whole hog come out. That extra damage to push you over. Space going on another flank here.
Has to be the playmaker. He sees Shorefall, but he's too far away. Amplification matrix from Big Goose now. The Valiant need to stay alive until Space finds something. Is that it? Big Goose skanked out. Not finished off though. Space will have the chance to go for another one. The Valiant must be patient even if time is short. Another one. Dragon Strike through. Kareem is down. Space has to make the difference. But Decay goes for Ice Block. Now Shorefall's chasing down. They get him. Space run into the ground. The Valiant, they want to try and back away. They want to reset, but they're not being given the opportunity to. The Valiant are being harried.
Oh, man.
14 seconds remain. And now it's getting dire.
Probably the worst target that Space could have grabbed towards him was the May.
They have to touch. They have 4 seconds left. Over the top is the Wrecking Ball. Fact Fiction trying to stay alive. Dragon Strike through. Overtime ticking down. The Valiant nowhere to be seen. Yet another death-defying stunt by the Los Angeles Gladiators on defense. Until they turn up the heat. Doesn't matter how anemic the attack looks. They go now to match point. It's 2-1 in the Battle of LA.
The Valiant need a win this weekend to get into the playoffs. You're one more map against looking at a win or go home against the San Francisco Shock, the best team in the stage. They got to get this map coming up.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
For the Los Angeles Valiant, it's either map 5 or a bit of defeat now. The Gladiators have turned up. They've silenced the green and gold, half the arena, at least for a moment. Again, the Valiant are no strangers to being in this position.
I was going to say, the reason they are in this position is because of their Game 5 losses really early on.
Or just their Game 5s in general, to be fair.
I mean, Stage 1, they were horrible, but they were not like, they weren't bad and then not competitive. They were incredibly competitive. A lot of Game 5 scenarios, a lot of close losses. They just come out on the losing end of all their games. It's just, you do not want your season to rest on those Game 5 scenarios. Those control points, you don't know which point you're going to get. It's back and forth, really scrappy. You do not want to rely, put all your eggs in that basket.
Surefour, dominant the last couple of maps. He stepped up in a big way. The conversation's definitely switched from Decay being this carry now to him. Decay being a facilitating factor. Surefour being the one that has to make the critical final blows. And he's done exactly that. Havana! It's our 4th map of the series. And if you're a Valiant fan, you hope it ain't the last. They're 4-1 on Havana. Let's hope that statistic carries them to the back 5.
Surefour likes these scenarios. Like big hype matches, crowd going crazy.
You know what's so crazy? Like when pro gamers tell me like they don't feel the pressure, like they're not nervous, whatever. I only really believe it when Surefour tells me because this is the person he is. His blood runs cold.
It's just how you deal with the pressure. Like some players really like thrive in it. Some players it bothers them a lot.
Yeah.
I think you just need one game in this type of environment playing well to be able to propel you to recreate those performances often. So Valiant, like Josh mentioned at halftime, they play really close in this map with the Farah. We'll see if Surefour can hit one of those shots
that color hex.
Yeah, who's showing off.
Performance. Now, I did notice that Surefour had positioned himself a lot further forward than we normally see the Widows try and forge. Big biotic grenade. Big Goose in and out of that immortality field. Good Kareem just sat there patiently. Surefour, that's a good angle. That is an excellent angle for Surefour. Doesn't get the kill. But space has been taken down to avoid. Fulfills that first win condition. Looks like they were trying to go for a resurrect on space, but agility's needed in his pocket. Shaz bowling him over now. Okay, didn't all the kills, that's fine. And so the Valiant's forward defense with Farah is broken.
That'll have agility, switch away from Farah and play Mei. So you'll have a Mei Widow matchup in the damage dealers. So you take a look at Shaz's POV. Free kick, land a nice shot on agility. He's coming down. Custa practicing his battle mercy a little bit.
Scotty been letting his blood run a bit hot there, I think.
Yeah. Custa's like, oh man, I wish I had my Doomfist there. It's a legendary ranked play Doomfist player.
Little's only wives' tales, Matt. Right, and Matrix up. There's a wall.
The wall's gonna go away real quick.
That's right. He's gonna melt it down. Gladiators, there's a spring in their step, Matt. I don't know quite how to put it. That was almost a pick on agility. He's inside the immortality field now. Oh, Kareem. Oh, you will be missed, agility. And there it is. Surefour again doing what needs to be done.
You can feel it in the venue. You can feel it like when you see the Gladiator players on stage. They kind of know they got them where they want. Like they can smell the blood here. I think if you're the Gladiators, and you know DP, right? You know, we've had the privilege of being in the cast room like last year a lot, where he's like giving these speeches.
We heard a lot of his pre-match talks, yeah.
And you can bet that he was talking about sending this team home, keeping the Valiant at home for playoff time. That's what they were probably discussing a lot leading into this.
That's the stuff that they live for, right?
Oh, yeah.
To play spoiler in a match like this, and they're in LA, but it ain't their homestand. The Valiant didn't really have a chance to play so far in this map. I'll be honest with you. Losing a player early to Surefour, who, by the way, switched from one sniper to another and hasn't had a drop in effectiveness.
And for the Valiant, somebody's got to make a play. Somebody's got to make a play that turns this around.
Who will it be for the Valiant to step up to this challenge? Surefour, a couple wayward orbs coming his way. Hook there. It's all quiet in the Valiant camp right now. They have to contest. There's the Transcendence to the high ground. Dragon Strike as well is going to claim Custer. That's not good. They get Chaz at least. The Valiant get a 5v5. It's an even fight. Surely they can do something here, but who is dealing with Shore4? Look at this. KSF won't challenge him. He drops to the low ground doing his own thing. Shore4 rules the roost on the high ground.
And they killed both supports. Both supports for the Valiant down. Custa coming back into the fight now.
Void frozen. They get him. Oh, Space. There was a timely entrance with the whole hog. And the Valiant now gasp for air as the pressure kept coming. Finally, a break in the barrage.
But I tell you though, Mitch, if you allow Shore4 to get to that high ground again and go that uncontested,
6 final blows, 1 death.
You're gonna see this point getting taken by the Gladiators. Maywall comes up, it's on the opposite side, so you're able to break this down pretty quick, but they break line of sight to the Gladiators with this amp field, so no kills come off the back of it.
Keep Space up on that left side, Matt. They're trying to not let Shore4 get position. That's why the Roadhog is up there, but with that hook not connecting and the pressure being applied, Space has to back up a little. Raw taken down. Kareem's able to burst him there with the help of Space. Need to see more of that for the Valiant. They want to make this one really competitive. And Void already strikes back. He gets rid of Fact Fiction. Shore4
again.
Someone shot the bat signal into the air and he responded. Space is out of it.
Yesterday, Shore4 is up on the high ground,
doing his thing.
Uncontested. Able to pick up 2 more final blows. So that'll be checkpoint B taken by the Gladiators. 3 minutes to keep moving this payload. You've got some ultimates. The Valiant gotta be feeling the pressure.
Take your medicine.
Anything to avoid heartbreak for this team. Shore4 sending him in one after another. He already has Dragon Strike. This is just to keep the Valiant honest. At this point, KSF's down. Shore4 ain't done though. Custer down to a sliver of HP. Shore4 might get him. Looks like the chase is on though. You saw Void was hoping to push that a bit. Get a right click, finish him off.
Yeah, I mean it's a huge kill. No immortality field here. You would have had a few seconds or maybe you get a halt. Plus, like, whether it be a hook or the Dragon Strike. What you could see here is if Agilities uses the Blizzard, Big Goose could drop down that amp field. You're going to see the amp field go down now. They're going to use the Dragon.
Dueling Dragons!
Agility's not able to use the Blizzard here early.
The Transcendence from Shaz was so big! Shore4 pops out, it's KSF down. The Valiant now left with just a couple players. Looks like it might be enough though. Again, Space saved the day. No! The whole hog is cut short. He needed 1 more kill at the very least. There's enough time for Fact Fiction to get back. Custer, he misses him. Oh! Fact Fiction punishes Void for missing that hook. And yeah, the Valiant almost called it too soon, but they just scrabbled back into the game.
It's a huge play from Space. I tell you, if the Gladiators have Big Goose alive there, they probably push it over the line, but 1:28 on the clock. Still a lot of time. KSF now will play Widowmaker. Some good sight lines from Widowmaker on the high ground. Can play really far. You have to kind of look into this choke if you're the Gladiators to try and make a play. So Widow can get some things going here.
Shore4's 12-1 right now. 12-1 on the hunt. So make it 12-2. Space gets him. Down that makes a difference. Look at Void though on the flank. Can he get 2? No. Shut down by Kareem. Imagine that. Void sneaks in, gets 2 kills. That could be it. The margins of error for the Valiant are so slim. And Shore4 is back on the Widow.
So, you know, they're fortunate that there's a few more players. As soon as that kill went down, Custom was just barking out orders like, you need to get back. Like, that is not something we challenge here. Both teams
not in my house.
Getting back to full strength. Pretty much one fight here to decide it.
Shore4's going for all these kinds of peaks. You can see he's feeling it. Some crazy positioning. Hook. Oh, Big Goose. That's incredible. Puts down the immortality field, so he's been picked up. That's now removed. So perhaps that gets used a little bit frivolously. It's not available now. Roar is down, but Shore4 finds KSF. The Widow battle again goes in favor of the Canadian, and Big Goose gets rid of Custer. It's got to be the Transcendence here, but Big Goose, he's not done yet. Agilities is down, the hook hit on Decay. Fact Fiction trying to keep this one alive, keep the ship afloat. Boyd finds Kareem, but KSF has returned to the fight, and he gets rid of Shaz. Big Goose tries to stay alive, but the whole hog makes it impossible. Raw now returns to the fight as the Wrecking Ball, but Void beats the hook. I mean, Pork, same thing. The Gladiators fail to finish the map here in Havana, and they leave an opening for the Valiant. But Matt, Los Angeles will have to show us some lethality on attack that we've not seen in the last 2 maps. They have to step up. By no means is this easy street.
Surefour had a very good first half. 14 final blows. You know, almost half of his team final blows. Whether it be the Widowmaker or the Hanzo, you're going to have to see the Valiant be able to deal with that. You're not going to be able to play like a Far here, let's say. You wouldn't really play it on Havana offense, but you're going to have to see KSF probably pick up that Widow, if it's the Widow v Widow, or the Hanzo in that situation and come up big.
Combined, Agilities and KSF have half the final blows of Surefour alone. The Valiant DPSs are getting dumpstered. It's time to turn it around now.
And earlier in the series, it was really Agilities and KSF who came out on fire. Like, those guys were really clicking. And then you know what it is? On Volskaya, when Surefour got those back-to-back headshots on the Hanzo, steal that map, that's when it feels like the momentum of this game shifted heavily in the Gladiators' favor.
Matt, when was the last time we saw Surefour go insane like this? Like 14-3.
It feels like it's been a bit, but also, you know, this year in general, like we haven't really seen damage dealers up until this point, right? So it's been really hard for those players to stand out. Where
all right,
now you're seeing it.
Out of the gates of Valiant go, a must-win map. And their fate is in their hands. Surefour greets them with a headshot. That was Fact Fiction sent reeling, but still standing. They'll use the payload to block line of sight, make it harder for Surefour to connect. Surefour instinctively, almost like he knew the hole was coming. Space doesn't find the hook. Surefour sails past.
You know, they don't play close up here, the Gladiators. You don't do this because you have a lot of faith in your Hulk hook combos, but also your Widowmaker to be able to get these picks. Because you lose one fight, you're done. Point A is going to the Valiant.
And the Valiant need to run over the top here. It's got to be quick. Oh, Decay! Got blown up. Void now in a duel. Space. He's going to go for the take a breather first. Surefour is a sneaker. No, he's looking for the headshot. He's given away the plan. The cat's out in the bag now. Surefour has to deal with Kareem up close and personal. Not so fast, young man. Kareem gets him. KSF, in fact. And that's what we needed from KSF. 3 final blows since he came out the gates. This is what the Valiant ask of him. He has to be the dominant sniper on the map.
Now the payload will go inside towards that foundry. Surefour makes a change. He'll go over to Hanzo. That'll be the Ant Matrix here. You want to prevent some players from coming out. You want to get as much payload progress as possible. You want to control the high ground here if you're the Valiant.
KSF is fuming. That would have been a kill on Shaz if not for the Immortality Field. Clean headshot, full charge. Casts his Immortality Field now. Oh my gosh, that Blizzard! The Gladiators, Big Goose is frozen up in that one, but Shaz had the Transcendence. Whole hog from Void defensively used.
Fact Fiction's weak. He's got to get some healing. Got to get everybody grouped up together. You have superchargers for both teams. KSF's got the walls, but space with the whole hog could be pretty big here.
Kareem is going for a ridiculous flank. Absolutely ridiculous.
KSF with 1.
The trade, they lost Shad, down to support the Gladiators. Superchargers in play, they find nothing though, and Void has to run away real quick. Wall comes up, Kareem still flanking, you see him. If you're looking for Surefour, I'm sure of it. Does he get away with this? This is a very aggressive play though.
The Valiant is so
Look
split.
at the spread, they're playing so wide here. They've got their Widowmaker of KSF at the bottom of the screen. You can't quite see from this angle, but they are all over the payload. They force the Gladiators into a terrible spot, but still they lose custom. Surefour, big Kareem, it's the Canadian. Space is going to get frozen stiff here. The Valiant tried something cute, a bit of a do-si-do. Doesn't cut it.
And I think you have to consider having KSF switch to the Hanzo here, which he does. Widow's just not great inside on this point. He's putting a lot of pressure into these shields, but Hanzo can climb up and get that high ground rather quickly. Much quicker than the Widow can. You also have the ability to just burn down these shields as they come up, so Surefour just pre-firing some of these angles.
Oh, that's a
here.
big hit.
Takes a shot.
Kareem looks like, oh my! Get out of town, Surefour. That's, I mean, just sat up on top here, and again, uncontested position to case down those Surefour. He knows he's got to go a little bit further, reach a little bit higher. Dragon strike. Hook. Oh, not quite the completion. Great peel. Look at that. 2 minutes, 38 seconds left. The Gladiators want to try and slow the pace down here. Blizzard comes out. That's from Agilities.
But where's the follow-up?
No one's caught in that. Just to create space for the payload, but that's not enough at this point. Boyd, he's in trouble. Oh, the freeze! He tried to go for the take a breather, but he couldn't. Immortality field on the low ground now. The Valiant. Surefour thinks twice about peeking out of that damage. Supercharger now for both Orissas, Matt. This is a pretty important fight. It might be the most important one. Custis Immortality field is down. Fact Fiction, Discord orb on him. Both Zenyatta step up to the plate. Double transcendences. And Space is in trouble on the high ground. The K has a Blizzard though, Matt. Here we go. It's about to get chilly in here. Oh no.
So Gladiators get the hold before the point B checkpoint pops up. The Blizzard's the one that makes the difference. Both Transcendences used at about the same time. You do not have that Transcendence from Kareem to deal with the Blizzard.
The Valiant have to do it all with very little.
We still have some time. Minute 20. You're not down to like last fight territory just yet. You probably have to take a quick fight here first, though, if you really want a good second fight.
Holtz, hook, Kareem down. That's another reset. And this has got to start to erode at your mental state. You're getting frantic, desperate, in fact. This would be the third time where you've had a reasonable chance of winning the map when it comes to attack and it's fallen apart. This has got to get to you, man.
You were close on Volskaya, you were close on Blizzard World. Here on Havana, though, it has been Surefour's lobby. It's a headshots, man. So much damage coming down from him.
Trade. Space and Surefour both down. The Hanzo, though, is gone. Surefour's reign of terror has been ended for now. Void will take a breather. He'll stall out if he can, but the Valiant have bought themselves a chance. A slim chance. And a map 5 and a map completion here on Havana. A chance to take it all the way like they have so many times before.
That'll be checkpoint B. So they get checkpoint B. They get the time extension. Take a look at this from Custis POV. Using it right through the Ant Matrix to shield first down.
He's been eating his Vegemite. Holtz, Dragon Strike, wall a lot there from the Gladiators. Team stay invested.
Agilities wants to follow this up with a Blizzard.
Yeah, that one came up a little short. And here comes the Gladiators Blizzard now. Are the Valiant ready for it? I'm going to say that's a no. 3 people frozen, but Kareem gets him with the Transcendence. Void tries to go for the whole hog, but he's vulnerable. He gets frozen up himself. KSF, though, goes down to Surefour again. Yeah. Once more, he gets in there. KSF a Dragon Strike on the way out to get Shaz, but I don't think the Valiant are going to push with this.
KSF goes to Widow. He knows they need to get these pickoffs rather quickly. There's going to be one in favor of the Valiant. That'll be the Ant Matrix used here as well. Maywall blocks some of that off. Supercharger goes around the corner. Nice place in here from Roar. You're going to be able to step out, use this.
A glimpse of Surefour there for KSF. He knows he needs to dominate in that matchup and hasn't. Biggest is down though. 20 seconds left. The Valiant are going to have to do this in overtime one way or another. They wouldn't have it any other way, but it's stressful for him.
You can play the clock here, though.
Surefour overextended there.
If you're the Gladiators, you back up, you play for a final fight. You have a chance to get this. Space is very far away.
There may be no support ultimates in this fight. This could be kind of wacky. This is the last chance for the Valiant. to keep alive in this match. They have a Blizzard, they have a whole hog, and that better be enough. They're straight from the cart for just a moment. Overtime stays intact. Here's the Blizzard, it's time. Both teams go for them, but KSF is fallen. Shortfall finds his mark. You thought you were getting Shortfall, but instead you got Tsumi. Catch these hands, baby. The Gladiators have done it. Another victory in the battle for LA. That's 2 in a row. And they keep the Valiant guessing as to whether they'll be part of our postseason. Shields up, baby.
Sherfor with 30% of the team damage, 33 limbs, 24 final blows, as he was dominant in the second half of this series, whether it be the Widowmaker or the Hanzo. What a wild game between these teams, and now all the pressure falls on the LA Valiant. They need a win tomorrow.
A fateful encounter
against the San Francisco Shock. Not only for the Cali Cup, but their playoff lives.
So much meaning loaded into one map, and it all goes down tomorrow. For the Gladiators, though, that right there is the team you need to see. That right there is the carry you need to see in Shortfall, and of course our player of the match presented by HP.
Who is it?
Of course, it is Shortfall. 24 final blows, 6 deaths on Havana alone. That is astonishing. Across the series, though, Matt, this guy was a force to be reckoned with.
Now, the Valiant came out on fire. These 2 kills for me is what it turns the series. It gives the Gladiators Volskaya pretty much. And then since after that point, there was no response from the Valiant. He really took the air out of the room. All the momentum that the Valiant had was gone at that point. 37 final blows on the Hanzo. 54 limbs, only 12 deaths.
And that's not even taking into account the Widow stats. Yeah. Unbelievable. A special moment for the Gladiators and, of course, for Shortfall. They are looking ahead to the future, I'm sure, but let's find out a little bit more. We're going to head to the stage with Mika and Shortfall.
Thanks, guys. We are here with Sherfor of the Los Angeles Gladiators, and you have taken the win in front of your rambunctious hometown crowd. What's going through your mind right now?
I'm a winner.
A man of few words, but few powerful words. So you guys have clinched top 6 now. You don't have to go into the play-ins. You have a bye week to really prepare. What's the Gladiators' preparation going to look like?
Probably just find out who we're playing against, and then, you know, see how they usually play. Just go through the usual stuff, make sure we're all ready for the match, and then try and win the whole thing.
All right, I love it. And not only have you won the Battle of LA, but now you get to splash the LA Valiant superfan. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, well, let's take a stroll over here. All right, crowd, I'm gonna need some crowd participation. I see everybody there in the purple. That's right. All right, we're gonna count from 3, and we're gonna end with splash. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, splash! And there they go. Thank you so much, Sherfor. Mitch and Matt, back to you.
Yeah, it's going to be cold showers for all Valiant fans, and probably for the team now, as they have to collect themselves to go again into another brutal matchup tomorrow. Still trainer, he'd love it, right? You know,
he's good.
Hit him with a dab, hit him with a dab. You know you want it. Very pleased. Gladiators fans here in the arena, and I tell you what, this is characteristic of the Valiant to make its way all the way towards the end, but what an incredible day of matches we've had so far. Some real close ones. Hey, tomorrow, it all continues. The Kit Kat rivalry weekend. Gonna be back for another hit. We've got NYXL Vancouver in there. Atlanta, another showing from them. See if they can make a 7-0 stage.
That last match, though.
The Valiant's hopes for playoffs rest on the California Cup. The Shock are already looking good. I mean, a win today over Vancouver, you've got to be afraid of them and putting them towards the top of your power rankings, Matt.
I mean, our playoffs, who gets in will determine by that last match. It is literally going down to the wire with that last regular season game to decide it.
And that's all from me and Matt Butt. Coming up on Watch Point, we're going to cover the Battle of LA 7. And of course, we're going to see how the splash tank bet between Zoe and Brad worked out. Stick around, Watch Point is coming at you.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota,